Before I go into my talk, I want to thank Lisa for that beautiful introduction. And I want to thank you, people of Hickory and Western North Carolina. I'm honored that you're here to see this work that I produced over 40 years ago. And I want to encourage you to support this museum, which is a true gem in the history of art in North Carolina. It's the second oldest art museum in the state. For a rather small city, it's an incredible collection, and it has an extraordinary range of exhibitions. And I've had the good opportunity to see some of these exhibitions, including the Wolf Climb, which was amazing. I also want to thank Dr. Randall Williams, and Barbara Williams, with whom I studied at Stetson University when we were undergraduates, for their long years of friendship and for recommending this show to the Hickory Museum of Art. And I want to especially thank Linda Williams for recommending sponsorship to Greystone Eye, the ophthalmological group of which he's on the board. It's a great honor, and I think I hope that Greystone takes this as a spur to continue to support exhibitions here. I think that would be a great step forward in support of the arts in the city. I would also like to thank Christina Anthony for an incredible installation. It's beautifully designed. The lighting is just what I wanted, and I really appreciate what you've done, Christina. It's just amazing. As some of you know, the show opened up at the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts in June. They're the ones who organized the exhibition and who made the negotiations for it to travel. And they were the ones who had frames made and masks made for the show. And I owe a lot to them. And also I owe a lot to my publisher and the designers of the book, which I hope you'll have a chance to look at. And I'll be here to sign if you're interested in book signing. I'll be here after this. So that's the end of those acknowledgements. Okay, the title of the show, that exhibition, and the book is In Time We Shall Know Ourselves. And for those of you interested in how that came about, it's directly recorded in my diary, which is in the train over here next to Lisa, the words that I saw on a road sign in Hattiesburg, Mississippi in 1974. And if you read my statement in the book, you'll find out more about that. Okay, the title of this talk, which I've written especially for the people of Hickory, is Bus Stops and Barbershops, Reflections on and in Glass. Drive-in theater with colonial facade, model homes, Long Beach, Long Island. Abandoned diner, Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. Storefronts, Midland, Pennsylvania. Beauty parlor, Vinton, Louisiana. Nude shows, New Orleans. Palm Readers trailer home, Delaware. Condominium under construction, Coral Springs, Florida. We are in America, 1974. This is summer. Bar hostess, 21 years old, New Orleans. Lady gas station attendant. Cowgirl, Roy Rogers Drive-In. Garbage man at campsite. Sister Teresa, fortune teller, Coney Island. Shirtless man holding dog and rabbit, Clarksburg, Maryland. Night manager, Warrington Hotel, Evanston, Illinois. These are some Americans, summer 1974. Dinosaur with head broken, Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Gorilla, wooden Indian, Buddha, Williamsburg, Virginia. Plastic flowers in shape of American flag. Giant, bikini-clad woman holding tire, New Orleans. Billboard, Jesus or Satan, near Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Indian's Grave, Fort Gibson, Oklahoma. Wooden Cross on Hillside. On the Road in America, summer 1974. The words are taken verbatim from my diary, wherein I recorded what I saw that summer, 1974, and captured with my camera. This staccato recitation of subjects should give an idea of what constituted America for me during my 3 months of travel through much of the eastern half of the United States. No Purple Mountains majesty, no grand landscapes, no celebrities. The closest I came to amber waves of grain was a photograph of cane fields in southwestern Florida, but a telephone wire ran across the sky overhead. Just people, places, and signs spotted while on the road, seen from the car, stopping along the way, or walking the sidewalks of small towns and great cities. Listening, looking, and observing. This is what I found. And this is what you see here on the walls of this museum in Hickory, North Carolina, housed in a former high school building, almost abandoned itself, and in this book of photographs, In Time We Shall Know Ourselves, which roots forever that time and period, America, summer 1974. Among the 750 photographs I took that summer with my 2 twin-lens reflex cameras are several pictures taken at bus stops, each suggesting different approaches to a similar subject. Bus stop from car window, Houston, Texas. That's right there. Is just that, a view taken from the passenger side window. Sorry. A view taken from the passenger side window while the car idled at a red light. I had little time to plan the photograph, but I had already been thinking about photographing from a moving vehicle, or in this case, one momentarily idled, and what such photographs might reveal of life in a great city. We see 2 figures waiting, a middle-aged woman standing on the curb, and a younger black man seated on a bench advertising Rooter Plumbing. Their faces are denied us. Half of the woman's body and her entire face are blocked from view by the edge of the car window. The man's face seems shrouded in shadow because the bright sunlight reflects off his clothes but not his darker face. These 2 are anonymous. We do not know who they are. They do not relate to each other. They are united in the civil act of waiting. While walking in downtown Kansas City, seeking subjects to photograph, I came across the woman with the matching dress and flowered shopping bag, waiting for a bus. I don't know what the over that is. Behind her, seen through the window, is a young man enjoying his lunchtime meal. Like the 2 in bus stop Houston, they are unrelated and unaware of each other, and unaware as well of the photographer's presence on the scene. For me, it seemed that woman had been waiting for that bus all her life. Unplanned and in close proximity to the subjects, I had little time to ponder. The photograph satisfied a certain desire in me to capture something about everyday life in an American city, to be in the very midst of it. War veteran with crucifix, Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, is the last of the bus stop photographs. My traveling companion, Suzanne Boyd, and I were heading up the west coast of Florida from Fort Myers towards Tallahassee. I wanted to stop in St. Petersburg for a photographic memento of that city to take back with me as an homage to Robert Frank, whose photograph of a group of St. Petersburg residents seated on a bench from his book American Photographs had captured something about the city. At the time, because of St. Petersburg's reputation as a mecca for retirees, it had often been referred to as a place where people went to die. Driving along Central Avenue, the principal east-west thoroughfare of the city, which runs through downtown, I spotted an older man waiting at one of the numerous bus stops along the route. Standing there alone, he seemed to embody a certain loneliness in America, which I occasionally encountered on my travels. After driving around the block, I decided I had to get out of the car and talk to him. I listened as he began telling me of his life. In the process of recounting his story, he suddenly took a small crucifix from his pocket and held it up to his heart. It was at that moment that I took the photograph. The telephone pole reflected in the window behind him, echoing the shape of the crucifix, seemed a stoic comment on the gesture. This portrait and experience remain poignant in my memory. Bus stops are about waiting. As soon as the bus arrives, the waiting is over. In my study of photographic history, I found the early daguerreotype portraits especially moving. Because of the longer exposures required, the subjects had to remain still for long periods of time. Their expressions seemed to melt into eternity. I wanted something like that in my portraits. Out of pure financial necessity, not to waste film, I had developed a self-imposed discipline to wait for that right moment, either by engaging my subjects in conversation or by fumbling around with my camera while the subjects prepared themselves to be photographed. With this particular subject, the bus stop became a metaphor for my photography. I've always thought of glass as a metaphor for the camera lens. The photographer views his subject through the medium of the lens. He reflects on what he sees. Reflections in glass, as seen in Bus Stop Kansas City and war veteran crucifix St. Petersburg, whether intentional or not on the part of the photographer, underscore the value of the chance element in photography. The photograph Barbershop, DeLand, Florida, is all about windows and glass, what one sees through them, what reflects off them, and the glass itself as a physical thing. Barbershops are rare subjects in the history of photography, but beauty salons and barbershops are both very American places, and that is probably what initially attracted me to them. It was no doubt the very barbershop I patronized as a student at Stetson University 10 years earlier. Beyond that, what ultimately drew me to the subject was the special play of light on a particular surface. From Ecclesiastes 3, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. The words spoken at the beginning of this talk can be taken as an indication of the subjects which interested me as I crisscrossed much of the American South and Middle West and parts of northeastern United States in the summer of 1974. As spoken, they are word pictures intended to conjure up the range of subjects the odyssey of such a road trip offered when, as a young man of 31 years, I set out to discover and understand what America was all about through the medium of photography. Photography is a silent medium, while poetry is made up of words. The best poetry is that which evokes images. Photography for me is visual poetry. These images, these photographs, are a testament to the translation of words and ideas into pictures. They reveal what they also conceal: the poetry of the American roadscape, of individuals freeze-framed in the string of life, of the spiritual in the mundane, of simple things couching mysteries, and of the fall of light on a pane of glass.